Well, President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are set to meet in Beijing later this week with a series of topics expected to be discussed, including Iran, Taiwan, global trade, artificial intelligence, and nuclear weapons. Trump speaking earlier today on his relationship with Xi.
I have a great relationship with President Xi. We're doing a lot of business, but it's smart business. We used to be taken advantage of for years with our previous presidents, and now we're doing great with China. We make a lot of money with China.
A major delegation of business leaders will be tagging along, including the CEOs from Apple, BlackRock, Blackstone, Boeing, Citi, Goldman Sachs, Meta, Tesla, and other top American companies.
Joining us now, former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland. KT, great to see you tonight. About 1,000 issues that the president can discuss with Xi when he goes to Beijing. How do you expect it to play out? What do you think gets prioritized most highly? And what would you be looking for to either happen or to come out of this meeting?
Well, first of all, I don't think there are going to be any bombshells. The delegation that the president's taking with him, what this signals is we want relationships with China. We want a business relationship with China. You know, we've had ups and downs with our relations with China over the last, several years. I think this is steady as steady goes. So that's what he wants. Now, what's going to happen on the sidelines? I think there's going to be a lot of talk about Iran. Not just because it's the subject of the day, but it's important to China. China might love to embarrass us over Iran. They may really want to be a pal of Iran. They want to be a player in the Middle East. But what China needs more than anything right now is access to Middle East oil. And it's not just Iranian oil. So there are no energy ships, there's no oil ships going anywhere in the Middle East in the Strait of Hormuz, anywhere the Persian Gulf, anywhere to China. So it's not just Iranian oil, it's Iraqi oil, it's Saudi oil, it's UAE oil. Nothing is getting to China. Now, what does that mean to China? That's probably all that Middle East oil altogether is probably maybe 15, 20, 30% of their oil imports. Remember, they're not getting Venezuela oil anymore either. And so that's probably 15, 20% of their overall energy needs. China is not getting. Now, that has a massive effect on Chinese industrial capabilities, their petrochemicals, their AI requirements, if they're not getting a big slice of that energy. So I've got to assume that last week when the Chinese foreign minister met with the Iranian foreign minister in Beijing, he told him, look, Iran, you settle this thing and you settle it fast. And I think President Trump and President Xi will have that same conversation. Whether the IRGC leaders care, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we're leading in AI, and we need to maintain that lead. And I hope the president tells Xi Jinping and Communist China, you get nothing from us in terms of building blocks on AI. But a girl can dream. Meanwhile, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth declaring on X that Senator Mark Kelly will face legal review for babbling about a classified briefing, stating that he may have violated his oath. Again, this as the Senator Kelly says that he thinks that the fight over him being punished and docking his pension might go all the way to the Supreme Court. KT.
Well, he really just has, that senator has about the biggest ego of anybody in an ego-filled chamber, doesn't he? I mean, he thinks it's all about him. And if he wants to babble about national security things and encourage the men and the women in the armed forces to rise up against their leaders, I mean, I guess that's his right, but it's not very patriotic, especially of a man who used to wear the uniform himself. He knows what he's doing. He's doing clickbait. He's not helping the United States. He's not helping the men and women in uniform. And he is certainly not helping the cause of the United States military.
Amen.
Hey, KT, before you go, I want to get your take on this. President Trump telling Fox News' John Roberts he is seriously considering making Venezuela America's 51st state. We've heard the 51st state talk before, KT. Does it mean anything here? What do you make of this?
I think Donald Trump gets up at 3. He doesn't sleep much, as we all know. And I think he gets up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he just thinks, how can I troll everybody? Maybe Canada, the 51st state. Maybe we'll invade Greenland. Hey, let's go for Venezuela, the 51st state. Look, we've got what we need from Venezuela, which is control over their oil industry, and we've precluded any Chinese or Russian interference in the region. We now have a close and prosperous relationship with Venezuela. I don't think they need to be the 51st state, but it sure is good for headlines, isn't it?
Amen.
KT, great to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.